Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys a video today, even though it's YouTube. I don't know why I say that, but whatever. And I'm here to give you a video of what WrestleMania 32 could have been. Everybody knows WrestleMania 32 is coming up this Sunday, and everybody knows by now that I'm going to WrestleMania. For those of you that have watched my videos and saw me talking about it and stuff like that. I'm pretty excited for it, because I'm actually going to WrestleMania and stuff like that. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. I want to talk about what WrestleMania 32 could have been. Because this WrestleMania looks like shit on television. I'm just going strictly what's going to be seen on the network / television. It looks like crap. The show itself looks pretty good, actually. It has a good match code. But the build-up's just absolutely been atrocious. The show itself could suck with all the matches and everything. Because we don't know. It's up in the air. So it could suck. So I want to talk about what they could have done differently with WrestleMania 32. Now, before I do that, I obviously should educate some people what they did do with WrestleMania 32. So let me talk about what they did do with WrestleMania 32. So, now, obviously, they wanted to make this WrestleMania. If everybody knows, Vince McMahon wanted to break the WrestleMania record, the WrestleMania attendance record from WrestleMania 3 from like 93,000 people. So he wanted to draw 100,000 people into AT&T Stadium. So he was going to go all in. He was going to have people like John Cena, people like Sting, people like Undertaker, people like The Rock, people like people like Brock Lesnar, people like Stone Cold Steve Austin, people like Mick Foley. He was going to go all in with this WrestleMania. He was going to make this WrestleMania feel big. He was going to make it feel special. But then things changed. We ended up getting some injuries. We got Sting getting injured in 2000 at Night of Champions, and he ended up having to retire. Well, we still don't know about that. That's still technically up in the air, but he ended up getting injured, so he couldn't wrestle. He's gonna pretty much can't wrestle at WrestleMania. And then we have John Cena. He ended up getting injured like 2 months just before Mania. He's actually going to miss WrestleMania, which John Cena has not missed a Mania since he's debuted in WWE. Seth Rollins ended up getting his injury, and that definitely hurt the product a little bit because Seth Rollins ended up tearing his ACL, and his ACL, and then or his MCL, ACL, whatever. And he had to sit Mania out, so they had to take the WWE World Heavyweight Championship off him, and I guarantee you he was probably going to end up walking in to WrestleMania with the title. So they kind of had to rebound. So then they had the injury of Cesaro, even though technically they weren't going to do a lot with him probably at Mania anyways. That's still a name. They had the injury of Tyson Kidd. And they did want to do get back to John Cena's injury for a second. They did want to do John Cena versus The Undertaker, but then they couldn't do that match since John Cena got injured, and the face of the WWE is injured. They ended up losing Tyson Kidd to an injury. They ended up losing Randy Orton due to an injury. They ended up losing Bray Wyatt now, Luke Harper, The Miz. I heard they lost The Miz. But I haven't seen Raw, so I don't know if that's like up in the air or anything. They lost a lot of star power for WrestleMania this year. So some of it isn't there. So then they got back into a corner. So then they ended up putting the title on, they ended up doing that audible where they made the title for the Rumble. The Rumble for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And they had Triple H win the belt. And then, it looked like they were going to do Triple H versus Roman Reigns, which I was fine with. Just because, it made sense to do that match because it's a match they had been building to. But it's like, after what happened at Fastlane, I really don't want to see that match. Roman Reigns just is not appealing. It's Dean Ambrose's time to be champion. They have the storyline with him right there. But anyhow, let me just kind of roughly. So let me talk about the matches that are going to happen at WrestleMania. They're going to have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The third one ever that they made a joke. I'm fine that they're going to have that, but it's just if they made it, it doesn't mean anything. So, but it gets guys on the show, so whatever. They're going to have a smudge of an IC title match again Which I was fine with it last year because it made sense to do it last year, but this year they just feels like they recycled an idea and they're just going with it. You know, they didn't really have a reason. They have guys like Kevin Owens. They have guys like, you know, Kevin Owens, who deserves his own spot at WrestleMania. He, I would say, did enough to get a spot at WrestleMania, his own match. You have I don't know about the Miz because I've heard about his injury. You know, I don't. You have Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens should have had their own match at WrestleMania. This is why this is so stupid. You have the Miz. You have it's pretty sad. Dolph Ziggler. The fuck? I mean, he's always in the Intercontinental Championship picture. So, what does he have? What's Zack Ryder, who has done nothing to earn an Intercontinental Championship match? Because he loses like every week on TV. Stardust, what the fuck did he do to earn an Intercontinental Championship match? Sin Cara, what the fuck did he do to earn an Intercontinental Championship match? This match was completely thrown together with no rhyme or reason, and it's a ladder match, and it's just stupid. You have the Usos versus the Dudley Boys, which should be something that I should care about, because it seems like in theory this should be a good match, and then it'll be a good match, but this should be something that feels special, because it's an old tag team from the Attitude Era and that's wrestled all over the world, going up against the new young tag team and the Usos, but it's just, I don't care. It's just, I don't care. I should care, but I don't. And you have the Dudley Boys, like I said before, I always forget that they're under contract with the company. There'll be moments where I forget, and that's not good. That's not my fault. That is the WWE's fault on that one. Then we have, what else do we have on the show? We have Charlotte versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks. I'm fine with the match. I just don't really like the way they've built that up. I mean, it's a simple build-up, but it's like, there needs to be something more. There needs to be something new. AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho, which is a match they've really gone backwards with. It seems like that the build-up, it could be something good, but it seems like that there's things that needs to be tweaked, and I'll talk about that later on in this video. Kalisto versus Ryback for the United States title. What the fuck is this going? What the fuck is this a match on the show? And then what else is on this show? See, you know it's pretty bad when I can't even remember the matches off the top of my head for this show. Let me check this out, because I don't remember what else is on the show. We have, what else we have on the show? Just give me a second. I want to make sure I didn't forget any match. Oh, okay, we have the League of Nations versus the New Day. Whatever. It's just, I don't care about that at all. And then we have the 3 featured matches. We have Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match, where if Shane wins, he gets control of Raw, and if Undertaker loses, he has to retire. I was originally happy to see Shane McMahon back, but it's just what they've done with this feud's been stupid. It's not even about The Undertaker, and if they're really going to send off Taker this way, that would be absolutely stupid and atrocious, and they would be dumbasses for that. Then we have Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar in a no-holds-barred street fight. I actually really enjoyed that feud. I think they've done everything. I think this feud's been done really well. And the only thing that they've done wrong was when they took a break from it for 2 weeks. But I think they've really done a good job building up this feud. They actually make me care about this match, and this is the match I'm looking forward to the most on the show. Then we have Triple H versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and the match I don't really see at all. The way they booked this has been dumb. With the way Roman's been booked, when he disappeared off TV for a couple of weeks. And then they strip-teased us with Dean Ambrose, and now we don't want to see Dean Ambrose as champion. And then they it's just been really dumb. With how they've gone about, booking this show. So yeah, it's just, I don't know what they were really thinking with how they decided to build up Mania this year. So let's talk about what could have happened with WrestleMania and what they could have done. So I'm gonna talk about some matches I think that would have worked for WrestleMania. the card that I've been thinking about, that I've been piecing together. And I think this, this card wouldn't be great. Now, I go off. I am trying to compensate that I don't have these Cena, Ortons, and stuff like that since they're injured. I don't have all those other stars, so they're injured since they're injured. So I'm just going to use this talent that I have at my access. And here's some stuff you can do. Here's what you could do to make that would have made. Here was something that you could have done. The call that you could have had. Now, I'm just going to name the matches. I'm not going to put them in any order or anything like that, and then you guys can put them in the order different time. So the pre-show, I just make it the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I am fine with them having that match. It gets guys on the show, and it works. It gets guys on the show, and it can be, it can be a nice pre-show match. Usually they do battle royals as like pick pre-shows anyway, so I don't see why not do it this time. And then what else? And then on the real show itself, I would start it off with a. I'm just gonna name the matches. I'm not gonna put them in any order. A match you could have on there was Kalisto versus Sin Cara for the United States title. I can't believe they didn't go there with this match. This would have made so much sense. And it was staring them right in the face right when Sin Cara came back. They could have gone with this match, but they were idiots and decided not to. Here's what you could have done to build up this match. You could have done and as for who would win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, a lot of different directions you could go. You could have Malkemi win it since it's in his hometown and it's possibly going to be his last match. You could have The Miz win it just to get him some heel heat. He actually talk about it all year long, so it actually feel like it's a big deal. Bray Wyatt, because he would need it to revamp his career, or Luke Harper, just because why not? But anyhow, then you have this match with Kalisto and Sin Cara. You have Sin Cara turn heel, because pretty much it would make sense for him to turn heel, because pretty much right when Sin Cara got injured and he was off TV for a little while, Kalisto became a single star himself. He won the United States Championship twice, and it would make sense. I actually think it would be something cool, and it would be something that would make sense. So why not go there? Why not have Kalisto versus Sin Cara for the United States title, and you could have Kalisto retain the United States title and give him a big WrestleMania match. Give him a nice WrestleMania moment, and it would be really cool. Other matches you could do is you can do a tag team title match, Fatal 4-Way, Ken Barrett and Sheamus, members of the League of Nations, versus New Day members Kofi Kingston and Big E versus the Dudley Boys versus the Usos. I think that would be a fine tag team championship match. It would be a match that would make sense, because I think it's stupid that they're not defending the tag team titles at WrestleMania, because the New Day have done enough with these titles that they deserve to have them defended at Mania, and it's stupid that they're not defending these tag team championships at WrestleMania. So you could have the New Day win, and then the night afterwards, I would have Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore debut, and they could win the tag team titles the night after Raw, because it would go over huge, and it would be fine. And you can have the New Day still be the faces in this match, but then the next night they turn heel, and that's when Enzo and Cass can come up and beat them for the tag team titles. Or you can have Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson come up and beat them as the heel if you want to keep them face. Now, as for other matches, I could see them. I wouldn't mind if they did Big Show versus Braun Strowman, just because there was a match they were building to. That was a match that actually would have made sense, just because it's Big Show. The guy that's dominated the company for years. He's the 7-foot giant, and it's Braun Strowman. You have a guy that they want to make this big monster, and you can have Big Show just knock out Strowman. And if you want to send out Big Show this way, that would be fine with me. But I think that would be fine. And what else did I say I should do for matches? I would do Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental Championship. I think the storyline's there. I think that this would be a nice way to blow off their feud from NXT and have Sami Zayn win the Intercontinental Championship from Kevin Owens. It would be the proper way to blow off their feud with Sami Zayn standing strong after everything that Kevin Owens did to him on NXT and having him get injured and stuff like that. And then I'm trying to think, because I had this together. This is why I would still keep Charlotte versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks for the Divas Championship, because I actually am down with that match. Just to have it be built up a little bit differently, where they talk about their history in NXT a little bit more, and they don't just have matches every week to build it up. It actually would have them cut promos on each other, and actually have them want to win this match, make this feel important, and I would give them a decent amount of time to have this triple threat match, and I would have I would have Sasha Banks win by tapping out Charlotte in the middle of the win, because I think Sasha Banks is the person to go with right now. You could go with Becky Lynch too, but I think I would have Charlotte drop the title here at WrestleMania, and I would either have I'd probably have her drop it to Sasha Banks by having her make Charlotte tap out with the bank statement. So that's my title matches. What else do I want to do on this show with Big Show and Braun Strowman? And I guess if you want to do a match with Ryback, where he is a heel, but I wouldn't do this match, but you can do Ryback versus Kane. It would make sense since Ryback walked out on Kane doing that tag team match, but I don't think I'd do that match. But if you want to do Ryback versus Kane, then there you go. A match I wanted to see at WrestleMania, though, actually, is a match with Big Show, Kane, and Mark Henry versus Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman. Now, I don't think it's going to be the last match. I thought originally at the time it was, where Big Show and Kane and Big Show, Kane and Mark Henry were retiring. So I thought this match would be a nice match for them to go out. You can win this match and they can ride off into the sunset together. I thought that would be fine, and I would totally do that. AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho, I'd do that match. Still do that match. I would change the feud. I'd still keep the same stuff that they did, just kind of push it forward. Push it backwards, where Chris Jericho is impressed with, where AJ Styles still debuts at the Rumble the exact same way. Chris Jericho is impressed with them. He wants to be his tag team partner, so they do the Y2AJ thing until Fastlane. They actually get the tag team title match that really did happen, and Jericho will still turn on him the exact same way. And he'll talk about, he did it because everyone was chanting for AJ Styles, and then they'll build up the feud the way they're building it up now, where, Jericho is just trashing everyone for chanting for AJ Styles. AJ Styles will challenge him to a match at WrestleMania. Chris Jericho will say, "You're not going to make a name off me." And then he'll finally accept. I don't really know how he did it in real life, but, Jericho will just finally snap and accept a match. And it will be Jericho versus Styles. Match that's never happened before. It would actually feel special, and you could have AJ Styles win. It would be a nice big victory for AJ Styles. There you go. And then my 3 featured matches would be Undertaker versus Finn Balor would be the first one. It would be a match that makes sense. You wouldn't have to do a lot to build up that match. This is what you really all would have to do. Undertaker can return on Raw, and before he can say anything, Finn Balor can come out in his, not like the Demon, but he come out in his entrance with the NXT title. He can have a face-off with The Undertaker, and then they look at the WrestleMania sign, and they pretty much hint the fact that they're going to have a match at Mania. It gets announced on the next day on WWE.com, and that's pretty much all you really would have to do. You wouldn't really have to do a whole lot to build up this match, because everybody wants to see this match. The Dead Man versus the Demon, the old school versus new school. And you could do hype videos building up Finn Balor for people that don't watch NXT, introducing who Finn Balor is, what he's capable of, and stuff like that. Then the Undertaker, the final week on Raw, you do one final promo segment with them, and you can do stuff with Taker too. And how about Undertaker is the dead man, and he's going to prove why he is the dead man, and he's going to teach this kid a lesson. And then at WrestleMania. Now, obviously, since I'm a Taker mark, I would have Taker win. But if you want, I would respect it if they did this. Now, I'm not saying I would like it. I would respect it. If Finn Balor did win, then after the match, Undertaker raised his hand, and Finn Balor, he pretty much teases a retirement. I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like Taker losing, but, at least he went down to a guy that I have respect for. Next match I would do is Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. Build it up the exact same way. I'm fine with it. Just don't take 2 weeks off from it, but build it up the exact same way, exact same feud, because I'm down with this feud. So, And then Roman Reigns versus Triple H for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You have to go there. They were going there anyways. But I try to do things to make Roman Reigns actually get over. If he tries to have this rematch at Fastlane where they put him in this triple threat, instead of actually having him be put in this triple threat, I would have Roman Reigns say, you know what, I have a rematch for this title, and I'm not going to compete in this triple threat match, and Roman Reigns will have to compete if he, or he'll be fired, and then they can have Roman Reigns still win the match, and actually have Roman Reigns have, not obstacles to overcome, but have Roman Reigns look like a badass going into WrestleMania. When he gets beaten the shit out of by a broken nose, he still shows up. He shows up no matter what the Authority does, and I'll have him book him the same way, and I have Roman Reigns beat Triple H. Hopefully it would be designed to be put him over the way it is. So I would keep the 3 main matches, I guess, the same. And the only difference I would do is instead of having I would still have Shane McMahon return. But if Roman Reigns wins, Shane McMahon would get control of Raw, just like in real life if he wins the Cell match. Because then everybody would want Roman Reigns to win because they would want Vince McMahon and the Authority out of power. I would be totally down with that. I would be fine with that. So that's kind of like how I would book WrestleMania 32, like what could have been for WrestleMania 32. They can throw some other stuff in there. They can do the, like a Divas match with, like they can do an NXT Tag Team title match with something. But those are kind of like some matches I just kind of were thinking about, whether they could have had Kalisto versus Sin Cara, that Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. They could still have the Triple Threat Divas Championship match, Owens versus Zayn for the IC title. Then the 3 featured matches being the same except for Taker versus Finn Balor and stuff like that. And I'd be down with these matches. I would be down if they did them this way. I would be, because I think this looks like a passable WrestleMania. Doesn't look like a great one, but it looks pretty good. So tell me what you think down below. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm also kind of not really thinking a lot because it's like midnight right now and I'm kind of tired. So that's kind of why I'm thinking, but I think these look like decent WrestleMania. This looks like a decent WrestleMania. You can even, if you want, throw like have The Rock come out and help Roman Reigns win the match or something, which is probably what's going to happen in real life, and it would get over really well because, like I said, they want Shane in power. So I'd be down with that. So that's kind of what I would like to see from WrestleMania 32: Kalisto versus Sin Cara. The Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match with the Dudley Boys, Sheamus and Ken Barrett. And if you want, you can throw Del Rio in a match with somebody, and Rusev in a match with somebody. You can do a segment with Rock and Rusev if you want. It doesn't matter. Then you can try to find a way to incorporate Stone Cold Steve Austin. And if you are going to bring Hulk Hogan back, you can have Hulk Hogan return, and it would be awesome. So tell me what you think of WrestleMania 32. You can have the Hall of Fame inductees come out as well. So tell me what you think WrestleMania 32 looks like. Does it look the best? I actually would like to instead, though, probably put Ambrose in the title picture. If you want, you could do Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt and instead have Miz win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And you can do Triple H versus Ambrose, and then you can do The Undertaker versus a heel Roman Reigns. But I actually would rather see Undertaker versus Finn Balor, but a heel Roman Reigns looks awesome, too. So there's a lot of things. They could even do Ronda Rousey versus Stephanie McMahon if they still wanted to, but obviously they can't do that. I don't know if they could still do that match. They could even still, throw AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens for the IC title, and that would have really worked really well. They could have done Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn still for the IC title. They could have done, they just could have done a lot of things for this fucking WrestleMania, other than what they fucking did. This WrestleMania has looked like shit. The build-up's been shit. It could have been something special. They could have done anything else. There was a lot of stuff that was staring them right in the fucking face. The stuff with Shane McMahon where he's in Roman Reigns' corner, and if he wins, it would have fucking got Roman Reigns over. It would have fucking worked. The stuff with fucking Dean Ambrose being in the title picture, that was staring him in the fucking face, and they could have had Dean Ambrose be the guy to go into fucking WrestleMania and wrestle Triple H in the main event, and have Roman Reigns turn fucking heel and go against the fucking Undertaker, and then you wouldn't have had to even bring Shane McMahon in to be fucking begin with, and then you could have done this shit with Lesnar and Wyatt, and it would have been a burial of Bray Wyatt, but at least it would be something. You could have done fucking so much shit than what they did. You know, they could have had AJ Styles and Chris Jericho have a match that they were supposed to have, where it could have been something special, but they fucking ruined it. They could have fucking had that Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental fucking Championship. They could have had Kalisto versus Sin Cara. That was a match that was staring them right in the face, was Kalisto versus Sin Cara, but they fucking ruined that match. They fucking ruined... They could have had that fucking fatal 4-way tag team title match, and it actually would have been something cool, would have been something... Not really unique, but it would be something cool. The New Day deserve to go in this show and defend the tag team titles. I don't care what you say. They deserved to defend those WWE tag team championships. They deserved it. They had so much stuff going on with the prestige of the belts, but they didn't fucking go there. They could have had fucking Braun Strowman versus Big Show. They could have had a nice retirement 6-man tag. They just could have done so much with this show. And they didn't do it. They're not going to draw 100,000 people to AT&T Stadium because it's just not going to happen. So that's all I have to say there. I'm going to do my predictions tomorrow, though, because there is things I'm looking forward to for WrestleMania, and you'll find out on my predictions video tomorrow. But well, later on today, actually, because it's like midnight. But that's pretty much it, guys. I will talk to you guys later.